Welcome to 2020. Wishing you all a very happy new year in India. A very hearty welcome to Professor Satinder Dhiman from United States, California, Woodbury University, who is visiting India at this point of time. Wishing you a very happy new year, Professor Saab.
Thank you, sir.
A very happy new year. Such a pleasure to have you in India.
I am pleased to be
And
here.
we are so happy that every year when the new year starts, you always try and make it to India to see what's happening in education system, how to empower education system, and every year you leave some energy which we have to synergize later to empower India's education system. We are so grateful to you.
I am delighted to be here, and this is such a wonderful time to be here to interact with people like you. I regard you as a Renaissance person, as a person
Thank you, sir.
who has a vision and who wants to do something for the education reform in our country. I believe that India is at this time at a cusp. It is at a cusp of right before it takes off in terms of economic development, education reform, and our favorite topic, Vishwa Guru. How to make
India has to become Vishwa Guru.
Reclaim. Actually, India has been Vishwa Guru.
Yes.
We have to reclaim that glory, that title, that heritage, so to speak. The world is changing, as we all know. It is undergoing some sea changes are taking place on the horizon. In education, for example, as we all know, and in all sectors, we find that there is something called artificial intelligence. Then there is something called augmented reality. These two spheres, the explosion of technology in these two spheres, I think, is causing a lot of interesting developments in higher education. Along with that, the second trend which is happening is greater emphasis on creativity and innovation. More and more
creativity and innovation. Okay.
Creativity is trying to have some new ideas. Innovation is making them productive, making them bring them into actionable operation. So that is another thing which is happening. So more and more companies, more and more organizations are looking for people who are creative, people who can think on their feet, people who can come up with new combinations and permutations of things, people who can take what is there and then transform into something different and new. So that is another trend which is the companies are looking for creative and innovative people. Then I feel that I noticed that there are companies in the US, for example, big companies, they are moving away from looking for degrees. For example, somebody has a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. There are many companies who are advertising that they no longer need so much formal education. They are looking for some sort of project-based knowledge, which I will call project-based competence or competencies, so on and so forth. So these are some of the trends, and as we discuss, I will be able to narrate more and more. In one word, there is less emphasis on formal education. What used to be, you have to send your child to education K through 12, then bachelor degree, then master degree, and then some people do PhD. I think there is a slight, the needle is moving slightly in the other direction. People are finding that with the internet, all knowledge is available instantly, and everywhere. So there is that. But I still feel that there is that requirement of wisdom, that there is a requirement of knowledge, which is very special, which computers have yet to master, that skill, the ability to synthesize information. Computers are very good with analysis; they can analyze, but they cannot, I think, match human brain in terms of its synthesis. The ability to draw disparate fields into some coherent whole. I think human mind is still needed.
You mean to say the logical thinking?
Logical thinking, computer can duplicate. That's what logical thinking.
Critical thinking?
They can also do some critical thinking.
Analytical thinking?
Yes, all of that, but much more than also. Much more than that also. I will call it holistic thinking.
Okay.
Something to do with looking at things in totality, right?
So when we see the mega trends in higher education today world over, first you mentioned about artificial intelligence.
And augmented reality.
Then you mentioned about augmented reality. Then you talk about creativity and innovation. And then also not that much formal education like degrees and all that, but more competencies. You used the word research-based competencies.
Right.
Yeah.
I will give you an example. World over, there is a less demand for MBA as a degree. So there is more demand for specialized master's programs, like master's program in human resource management, a master's program in project management, master's program in management, master program in information technology.
Okay.
There was a time when MBA degree was the #1 master's degree in business.
But is the duration same of both the programs?
Yeah, it depends upon, some European schools have maybe 1 year to 1.5 year model. Some have 2 year. But I think that more and more universities are coming up with 1 year master's program in management.
It will be more intensive?
Yes,
Okay.
it will be more hands-on,
Hands-on.
project-based, and less based on theory.
Okay.
But at the same time, there will be specializations.
Okay.
Like
When you say project-based, would it be more in sync with the corporate sector
yes,
or with the community?
well, both. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned those two things. That is another trend. I'm glad that you brought it to my notice. The other trend is students, professionals are finding out that they are a part of a society and they want to work with. This is called civic engagement.
Okay.
They want to engage what you call community.
Yeah.
It can also be approached as civic engagement.
Civic engagement.
They
Okay.
want to not only learn leadership and management and strategy and finance, they also want to say what is going to be the impact of it on the society, right? You see, ultimately, no matter what work you do, there are only two things that one has to really do in life. One, how does my work bring satisfaction, fulfillment to me? That's the first thing, That's the natural selfish desire we all have. There is something like that lurking in our mind. What is it going to do for me? We all seeking for one thing, and that is happiness, and that is fulfillment. I want satisfaction from what I do. I want to add value. The second thing everybody looks for is what is the relation of that work to the society, for the society.
Okay.
So, good for me, good for the society.
Okay.
I think there is a trend that I see many young people, when I teach in the MBA program, I see they have this feeling, what I term as sarfaroshi ki tamanna. They have this feeling, kuch kar guzarne ki ichha. They want to do something.
Because you are seeing so many millionaires now, the younger generation.
Millennials
25,
and
26 years old, they are becoming
Z generation. There are all kind of things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, so these are the mega trends which are related to higher education.
Some of them. Yes.
Okay. So we are in conversation with Professor Satinder Dhiman from the Woodbury University in California in USA. He is visiting India at this point of time, and we are very keen to know how to empower Indian education system and what are the mega trends world over, and particularly in those developed countries, USA, Canada, and a couple of other places. Thank you very much, sir. And we will continue in the next episode with our next topic.
Absolutely my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.